Safe to be Me is the title of what the UK government is billing as a global equality conference, or more specifically, the UK's first ever global LGBT or LGBT plus conference. Safe to be Me, I think, is quite ironic because right now in the UK, I don't really feel it's terribly safe to be me. I think that we have a hostile government that is hostile to trans people. And it's scandalous that the UK government is hosting this conference, presenting itself as a champion of LGBT rights on the global stage when there's so many places that are better than here. And I know that there are places that are worse than the UK, but there are places that are a lot better, especially for trans people. Some years ago, the UK government launched a consultation for proposed reforms to the 2004 Gender Recognition Act. That was a discriminatory piece of legislation at the time it was passed and now is seen as being several years out of date. And I think that I was probably alone pretty much in that I didn't think that anything would come from it, but many people completed that consultation in good faith. And then, sure enough, after much deliberation, the proposed reforms were shelved, which means that trans people in the UK have to go through a dehumanising process of obtaining psychiatric reports and then submitting themselves to a panel of judges who they'll never meet. And if their request for recognition is declined, then there's no right of appeal. And of course, being non-gendered, then I wouldn't even be able to go through that process because the process only recognises male and female. And the UK government have made it very clear that it does not see my identity as valid. They've made it clear, in fact, in 3 successive stages of court proceedings where I've been trying to obtain a gender-neutral ex-passport, and I'm now having to go and appeal overseas to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. And think about that. It is an outrage that I've been unable to obtain justice in the UK because the government has defended its position of not wanting to give me and others in my position, that is neither male nor female, a passport that doesn't force us to deny a most fundamental aspect of our identity. And all of that aside, it is an LGBT plus conference. So the UK government is, unlike a growing number of countries that have banned the abhorrent practice of conversion therapy, the UK government is consulting on the matter. And the LGBT people might still be subject to conversion therapy quite legally if not enough people actually vote to ban the practice. And I think that also is pretty outrageous. And worse still is that the UK government has filled the National Human Rights Institution, the Equality and Human Rights Commission, with its own chosen appointees who are vehemently anti-trans. And the EHRC, the National Human Rights Body, submitted to the government consultation that they would like to see a ban for conversion therapy as applied to LGB, but not to trans people. For some reason, the National Human Rights Body, staffed with government appointees, believes that it's fine that trans people should be subject to this abhorrent practice and that it shouldn't be made illegal. So no, right now I do not feel that in the UK it's terribly safe to be me. I don't feel that it's safe to be trans in the UK right now because we have a hostile government that is trying to roll back on what few rights, enforceable rights, that trans people actually do have. So I'm urging businesses, would-be sponsors, organisations, anyone that the UK government might approach to get involved with this event to instead focus on trans rights and not have anything to do with this UK government propaganda. At the end of the day, trans rights are human rights, but the UK government doesn't seem to understand that.